Hello everyone, it's Jordan here. Yeah, it's been a long time, I apologize, but yes, admin and YouTube kind of got in the way of VN Paradise, but we're going to be back a little bit slowly, but I promise you'll be getting very nice VN content in the future. Okay, this review of Shironagasu Island was written by the lovely Katie Pajamas. Please go follow her on Twitter with the link in the description. These are her words, not mine. I'll be the first to admit when it comes to visual novels, the place I've explored the least has been Steam. There are so many different ones that I feel buried in a virtual sea of stories that I haven't taken the time to dig through all of them to see what may or may not be worth playing. However, when I saw that Return to Shironagasu Island was coming to the Switch and being released at both a reasonable price digitally and physically, I decided to pick it up on Steam first to give it a try since I hadn't heard of it before. This is one of those made by a single person game where it has some extra love put into it that lets you feel how much the writer cares about the characters and the story. It's both written and developed by Hyogo Onimushi, who made his game debut with this release, and was first made available on PC, as I mentioned earlier, and then most recently on the Switch. There is a physical release in Japan and it does support English, and if you want to purchase it, please check the links in the description. That helps support VN Paradise. So what's the story? Return to Shironagasu Island joins our protagonist and private investigator Sen Ikeda at the airport where he's picking up Neneko Izumazaki, a girl he knows with a perfect photographic memory that he thinks will be useful in his next investigation. Her unique genius proves useful as he travels to meet a woman whose father has recently committed suicide, and she is in need of information as to why something this tragic could have possibly happened. After completing his initial investigation, Ikeda finds an odd invitation amongst the deceased man's belongings that directs him to Shironagasu Island, where our story really takes off. Our two main characters, Ikeda and Neneko, are a very odd pair. Neneko is an absolute genius that suffers from social anxiety and extreme awkwardness. She struggles in conversations with people and has difficulty even eating in front of others. Ikeda, on the other hand, is the occasionally serious but kind of goofy private detective that is working to get to the bottom of all the mysteries that surround Shironagasu Island and the people that live there. He teases Neneko a lot, making their interactions feel awkward and sometimes even mean, but also do a good job of showcasing how well the two really work together. Ikeda and Neneko will also slowly be introduced to a very colourful cast of characters who were invited to the island and all have their own agendas and secrets and act just as suspicious as they initially appear. Upon arriving on Shironagasu Island and travelling to the mansion they were invited to, they discover the owner won't even meet with them in person and plays his own mysterious role behind the scenes. Not to mention the mansion staff can't even act normal for a single scene and makes Sen Ikeda feel like he's picked the right place to start his real investigation. Throughout the game, other than the normal visual novel style of play, there's also a couple of additional mechanics sprinkled in. There's point and click sections of exploration and investigation that will appear, as well as time segments that involve both making choices combined with point and click segments before some precious minutes or sometimes even seconds run out. Those are few and far between, however, but almost always end in a game over if you fail to complete the task at hand in time. There are a couple of different endings in the game, as well as lots of ways to die while playing. You've been warned, but luckily the game is incredibly forgiving about picking right back up where you left off before you made the wrong choice, almost always without even needing to reload a save and instead just hitting a retry option. The game takes around 8 to 10 hours to complete both the main story and the extra chapter that unlocks after finishing the true ending. The extra chapter alone is hefty at around 2 hours of dialogue and adds not only a little fan service but also a whole new setting and story away from Shironagasu Island, making it feel like the perfect fresh extra experience to expand the characters and add more story. Speaking of story, this game is written phenomenally well. I'd say my only criticism is the weird way the dialogue is written for certain characters, as it can feel clumsy and awkwardly portrayed, and sometimes cause characters to seem as if they changed entire personalities during a conversation and not act the way they had up until that point, not even as a plot device. It feels distracting from the flow, but was also very brief, as everything usually shifted back to normal service fairly quickly. In terms of the art and sound, while this game doesn't boast the best art you'll have ever seen in a visual novel, to be fair, it helps the mood. The game having such a dark narrative benefits from how the characters and art are designed with their gritty appearance and dark color tones. However, the roughness of the art did take me out of the game just a little bit with how funny some of the characters looked in particular positions, but that's the most it does to hurt the game. Outside of the art, I also always love to, mention the music in a visual novel, since it can do so much to help the game if it really stands out. And in this case, the music is spectacular. It fits so well, adds to the tension, and does its job perfectly in setting the mood for the story you're about to embark on. One thing to mention is that they are apparently in the process of adding in voice acting, but that only appears to be Japanese for the time being. So, is it worth it? Return to Shironagasu Island is not a high budget blow your mind type of VN. Instead, it's a slow burn that builds up an odd story and surprisingly delivers on a well done narrative that does not fit what you may originally expect. For the price point and presentation, this is a worthwhile try, as fans of both the murder mystery and sci-fi genres will find something to love here. These are the kind of visual novels that may not get as much love and attention as the bigger releases, and it's worth shining the spotlight on them when it deserves it. I'm looking forward to seeing more from Hyogo Onimushi, as this initial foray, even with its flaws, has so much promise. An 8 out of 10. Alright, thanks to Katie Pajamas for writing this review. Please go check her out on Twitter. And of course, if you're new here, please subscribe. Don't worry, there is more content coming. You can also check me out on Switch Watch and my other new channel, A Bit More Jordan, for a lot more me. Go check it out. Have a good day.